This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Encompass Health, Rehabilitation Hospital of New England, and North Shore Community College. If you have the will to attend college, we have the way for you to earn your degree.
Hello and welcome to LCTV News. You're in for a treat with a double lowdown featuring an appearance by Lifescene and the Food Project. The news is full of storytellers and historians looking to preserve their art for generations to come. Here's the news for Friday, July 21st, 2023. In a recent study by Consumer Affairs, Lynn drivers were ranked the 6th safest in the country, behind Green Bay, Cary, Oxnard, Bellevue, and McKinney. The study is titled Worst Drivers in America and uses crash numbers and fatalities to give every city in the country a crash score. On the flip side, they are also able to pinpoint the cities with the best driving. Despite this ranking, Lynn has 8 of the 200 intersections in Massachusetts with the most crashes each year. There are currently safety improvement plans in the works for intersections with the most accidents, as traffic remains a top priority for the police department, according to Lieutenant Rick Connick. The Friends of Lynn and Hot Beaches are hosting a series of free concerts at Red Rock Park, as they have done the past few years. LCTV was on site for a performance by All That 90s, a band founded and led by a Lynn native. Here are some clips from the event.
Hi, I'm Brian Doucette. I'm originally born and raised in Lynn, Massachusetts, worked here most of my life. Came to this beach many times growing up. Love coming back to this event. Yeah, I mean, I love to play this every year. I've been playing this actually since 2018. I was actually in another band in 2018 and we played here, and then when the 90s band started, kind of picked it back up. We check in with the Friends of Lynn and Hot Beach and the DCR every year, and luckily they have us back every year. They say we do great. Tons of people here. Nice community event, everybody's having a great time. Fighting the elements a little bit, but it's still beautiful out. The band, I actually started the band in late 2018. Wanted to start something more theme orientated. Tons of 80s bands out there, tons of classic rock. At the time, there was no 90s bands out there, so wanted to go into more 90s theme, a little bit more diverse music, hip hop, rap, pop like Britney Spears, some rock. Just thanks for having us. Check us out on Facebook, check us out on Instagram, check us out on Twitter. All That 90s. We're the original 90s band in this area. We're the premier 90s band in this area. Check us out, we play all the time. Appreciate it. Love.
For a full listing of dates and bands performing, go to lyntv.org. This past weekend on the 15th was the Veterans Fishing Derby at the Lynn Ferry Terminal on Blossom Street. Those from all branches of the military came together for a day of reconnection, which means so much more than fishing to most. Take a look.
On Saturday, July 15th, the City of Lynn hosted its 3rd annual Veterans Freedom Fishing Derby, a popular event among those who served of all different generations. Interested veterans signed up at Blossom Street Pier and are then assigned to different groups to go fishing at several different locations in Lynn. Each group then returns to Blossom Street to eat lunch and weigh their caught fish and determine winners of the day. I spoke to two of these fishermen to talk about their experiences that Saturday morning.
It was fantastic. We had a great time out there. I go to fish and Tracy got to fish.
I caught 2, 1 keeper.
I caught one keeper, that's it.
Yep, so I caught a 37-inch and a 28-inch. So this is my first time doing this derby, so I don't know much about it. I just got a flyer in the mail, but it's a bunch of veterans getting together and actually going out and doing things together. I met a new friend today. I met
Me too.
3 new friends today, so it was a lot of fun.
I also spoke with Casey Smith, whose grandfather, Ted Smith Sr., founded this event. What gave him the idea to found this event?
Probably the fact that he's also a veteran. My dad was born on a military base in France, so this is just an opportunity for them to reconnect after however many years apart, because being in the military can take a lot of time out of your life, but once you move away from those people, it's kind of hard to keep that connection, so this is just a way for them to have that sense of community. And I've seen going through the paperwork, people request people who are in the same post maybe because they can't keep in touch, they don't have names, so they're kind of counting on us to hopefully run into some old friends. I think that's really what it's for.
For veterans, community events like these seem to go a long way in helping them connect with their fellow brothers and sisters in ways that not many other experiences can provide. For LCTV News, I'm Josh Englander.
United Lynn Pride is currently working on a history project focused on the LGBTQ plus population, and they are asking the public for their help. They are looking for people from diverse backgrounds within the LGBTQ plus community who possess a good memory and can speak on camera about the past. In addition, United Pride will be finding and scanning old pictures, documents, and news clippings. The goal of this project is to make the stories and knowledge available to the youth and for future generations. To learn more or to sign up online, go to lyntv.org. As part of another summer series, Raw Artworks presents VanGo, a mobile art project meant to bring youth out into the community. This past Monday the 17th, they were at Flax Pond, painting rocks to be left around the park and the rest of Lynn. Here's more of what they had to say.
I'm Nathan. I'm from Raw Artworks. I'm a Raw Chief. I help out with groups. I help prepare groups. I help to run groups. And I am doing VanGo. VanGo is we take a van and we go out to the community and we do artwork with them. They can paint we did rocks today. We're doing rocks and mirrors. And we're painting about how either you see yourself or how you want to see the Lynn community.
I decided to paint this rock after hearing the prompt being, how you view Lynn, if you were to see yourself in a mirror, or if someone was having a bad day in the mirror, how would you, what would you say to them? What would you hope to be said to you? And I kind of just took it on Lynn. I didn't really focus on me or someone else. I focused on the city of Lynn. The plants spell out Lynn, and it's sprouting from a boot because that's where Lynn made its main economy when it first started. And instead of city of sin, it looked in the mirror, and now it's a city of winds.
The rock that I made was supposed to make people cheer up, so I thought it would be a good reminder of the Lorax and how it was talking about being there, going by what you said.
I think events like this are important because it helps us connect with the community more to, just enforce and kind of push out how strong community is.
The Golden Age, a short film produced by and starring Lynners, has been selected for the 2023 Harlem Hip Hop Festival in New York this August. The focus of the film is a rapper and musician who find their way back to each other after 10 years apart, falling under the romantic comedy genre. The 3 stars of the film all have a Lynn connection as a local comedian, future teacher at Lynn English, and employee at Greg House. The director and writer, Chantham Luke, is also from the area and returned to his roots upon realizing that the, quote, heart of hip-hop culture for me has always been Lynn-based, end quote. Anyone wishing to watch the film will have to do so after the festival, according to Luke. The Food Project held a farm lunch at the Ingalls Elementary School on Wednesday the 19th to introduce members of the community to work being done by youth in the program. Those in attendance got brief tours of the farm before being served a lunch made from locally sourced gardens. Here's more from the event.
So right now we're at Farm Lunch here at the Ingalls Farm. What Farm Lunch is we really just invite community members to come join the youth on the farm to have some lunch and get to know a little bit about the youth experience and more about the Food Project if this is like their first introduction to the organization.
Farm Lunch is a place where you get to meet our lovely root crew members, you get to learn about our lovely experiences here as youth at the Food Project and how we are empowered and how we have just a great time here at this organization.
So I was a youth in 2012 and I found out about the Food Project from my dad. I remember when I first applied, I was like, I don't want to work on a farm all summer. But it was actually like a life-changing experience for me. And throughout my years of working in different organizations, companies, I've always reverted back to my experience here at the Food Project.
With our youth development program, we have different groups of children. So when youth comes into the Food Project, they join a crew called Seed Crew. And Seed Crew is to really help and develop their knowledge about the farm, and really it's where I grew my love for the Food Project. It's why I came back for my third year. And so Root Crew is the very knowledgeable and experienced group of youth at the Food Project. Root Crew, we run many community events such as this.
I think it's important to hold events like this because there's a lot of people in these communities that don't know about the Food Project, or they've kind of heard it, seen our logo. So this gives them a little insight as to what we really do, what our youth learn here, and different ways that they can support us.
The Public Arts Commission, in collaboration with Boston BRT, are bringing Art on the Move to Lynn, which will add art installments to 7 existing bus shelters around the city. This is part of a larger initiative to bring some joy to people as they are waiting for the buses, according to Lynn's art and cultural planner, Lucretia Thompson. Any artist wishing to participate has until July 28th to apply, and if selected, the artist or group will receive a $7,000 stipend for their work. To enter, the artist must submit their own original design concepts, be at least 18 years of age, or have the permission of their parent or guardian to apply. Artists will be selected by August 11th, and the work they create will be cared for by the city and stay up as long as it is viable. The Mass Senior Action Council held a fundraising and candidate event at Old Time Italian on the 19th. All candidates were invited to come and speak for a few minutes, in addition to the fundraiser and lunch being held. Here's a clip from the event.
All right, let's give a round of applause for everyone who has taken those nomination papers out and put their name in the ring. That takes a lot, and we know that we need them whenever we are fighting for what we need. Another person we would like to introduce to everybody. Please, Miss Megan, stand up. This is our new Senior Center Director. We are going to be working side by side with her. And we want to thank her for joining us in Lynn on our way to make it better for everybody. Thank you.
I'm really excited to be part of the Blue Wave. And I'm all the way.
To view the full coverage, visit lyntv.org. The City of Lynn has released a survey regarding their open space and recreational plan. They are looking to update the OSRP, which serves as a comprehensive overview of Lynn's park systems and methods, to manage and update the parks and recreational facilities around the city. It also has a longer-term purpose, as the goals, objectives, and actions for the parks and open space are laid out for the next 7 years. To learn more and take the survey, go to lyntv.org. Raw Artworks unveiled murals being done by their youth at Brickett Elementary School. A mix of interactive and visually impressive creations were shown as a large crowd gathered for the unveiling. Take a look.
Thank you all for coming for the unveiling of the amazing and creative work that Raw Arts did for the last 2 weeks. These artists worked so incredibly hard these last 2 weeks that it was blazing hot, and they were out here on pavement painting.
So I'm Izzy Duffy, and I'm a part of the WMX group, and I worked on the obstacle course leading up to the floor is lava to get the kids like moving and thinking about numbers and just like have something to actually do and get active, because before they were just playing on the cement, and we heard that they liked the floor is lava, so we wanted to like actually make something real and like.
Hi, my name is Mercedes. I also worked on the obstacle course with Izzy, and I'm just glad that they also have something to play on now, and I'm glad that there's different little bits and pieces of stuff that they can do, like counting with numbers and spinning 3 times.
We're just really proud of the groups that we worked with. Took them about 8 days, less than that, to finish all of this at Brickett Elementary, and I'm really proud of them for showing up, showing out in this really hot weather for the kids, and it's all for the kids, like for them to enjoy and learn together, especially in like an urban environment where there's not really much to play with except the ground, so we got to paint that for them.
Yeah, I'm so proud of these amazing young artists, and for some of them it's their first time doing a project this big or doing public art in the first place, and it came out amazing. It is so vibrant, and I even want to go around and play with it, and it's such an amazing piece of work for these young kids at Brickett Elementary to have something to do other than just unfortunately just standing around on the pavement, something to really engage them and to inspire them, and it's really amazing because all of these pieces are both educational and interactive at the same time.
Mayor Nicholson is one of 40 mayors and 80 senior city leaders from 27 U.S. and 13 international cities being selected for the 2023 Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Initiative. It is a year-long, first-of-its-kind program focused on closing the gap in executive development for the public sector. It brings together Harvard faculty and staff, along with experts from Bloomberg's network, to work with mayors and senior officials for the year. Classroom, virtual, and fieldwork learning are combined to increase the leaders' use of collaboration, data and evidence, and innovation to impact their community. This is done through programs in civil engagement, economic development, and human resources. According to the founder of Bloomberg LP, Michael Bloomberg, quote, "This year's class features a diverse international group of mayors who are changing their cities and the world, and we're glad to bring them all together in New York. Mayors face no shortage of urgent challenges right now, from poverty to climate change to public safety. This program is designed to help build their capacity to lead and empower them to act boldly. We look forward to working closely with this new class throughout the year and to seeing the results they'll deliver for the millions of residents they serve," end quote. First up on the lowdown, the executive director of Lifescene came down to talk about their Family Fun Day happening next month. Here is the lowdown. Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Dani Vittori, and today we have on Selvin Chambers, the executive director of Lifescene. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, so it's a pleasure to be back in your presence, so thank you for inviting me back. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a great summer.
Thank you. Yes, this is the second time, and we were just talking about that. That was almost brand new the first time.
Right. No longer brand new. So I think we both were a little brand new.
I think, yeah, we were a little bit.
Yeah.
But now we're both experienced experts, right?
So to speak.
Sure. We'll keep telling ourselves that. But you're coming on to talk about your 16th annual Family Fun Day.
Yes, we are so excited about that. So as you know, it is our 16th annual Family Fun Day, and it's a very festive day that allows us to celebrate our work and other organizations' work in the community. So it's not just about Lifescene. So we have a number of other nonprofits and service community organizations who are there to share information and how people in the community can access those resources, from family support services to youth services to job opportunities to college opportunities. And so it's a fun, festive day where we have food, there's music, and this year we're hoping to have some entertainment, so there's an opportunity for community organizations to display their talents as well. And it will run on August 5th, which is a Saturday, from 11:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And the rain date is August 6th, which is a Sunday, the very next day, but the same time frame. So we're really looking forward to celebrating with the community and sharing the services available that we provide and that other organizations and businesses provide as well. So we're excited.
I'm excited for it too. It sounds really fun. And I got to ask, it's based on your website, it's a big event. So how do you plan and coordinate with so many different organizations?
So it's been 6 months in the planning, and we reach out to almost 200 organizations to allow the opportunity for them to come and set up a table. Wow. It's free of charge, so we don't charge the nonprofit partners and service providers a fee for their table. They get a table, 2 chairs, and they get to share their information and their swag and print materials about their organization. We have prize giveaways, and the only expectation for people who come is that they get a passport, which they have to go to each table, and if they get a certain number of stamps from visiting the tables, because we want to make sure that they're visiting the service providers as well. Yeah. They get an opportunity to get some free food and to enter in the raffles. And some of the raffles last year were carriages. We gave away some iPad computers, some games, some clothes. We gave out museum passes. And so there's lots of opportunity for people to engage and to walk away with getting something other than just knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they get to get a whole lot of things from there, definitely. And another thing that was mentioned, I'm curious about this, the Community Leadership Award. You mentioned that that's given out here. So what is that?
Yes, so we're giving a Community Leadership Award, which will be announced soon. And that is an award that's given to someone who's played an instrumental role in serving the Lynn community. And so the committee selects the candidate for that, and then they receive it on the day of the event.
Well,
so we're excited.
Ooh, see, I'm excited to see who ends up with that.
We're excited too.
Mm-hmm. And when you're talking about, I said, this sounds like such a cool event, such a fun event. So you really are trying to blend fun, family, but also research and knowledge, so they can learn and have fun at the same time.
Yes, yeah. So it's kind of like a community fair where you get information about services that are provided, because as a partner in the community, we realize that we aren't the end-all be-all for everyone that comes to our door. Mm-hmm. And for us, it made sense to work in collaboration to invite other partners to kind of share their services so we can have a referral opportunity with the partners. And that's been the premise behind the event all this time.
Mm-hmm. As I hear from your organization and so many, it's all about making the connections.
Oh, most definitely. And when it's great to see people in an event and they're walking around and they may get some information from Project Leo, or they may get some information from Lifescene or Catholic Charities, right? And so I think for families on that Saturday, it's an opportunity for them to come and kind of share the information. When we first started this event, it was on a Thursday afternoon, and when I arrived, I decided that it made sense to do it on a weekend and plan it well in advance. So if families have multiple children, right, you're not trying to hustle and bustle from work to pick up your child to go to an evening event or an afternoon event. So we decided to make sure that it was accessible to all. So it made sense for us to shift and do it on a Saturday afternoon where parents can plan their day, and that could be their destination point.
Yes, instead of going, okay, I need to do this, that. All right, get in the car, we gotta go.
One-stop shopping, right.
And you know, you mentioned that like nonprofits, other places, they can be involved. What would you say are ways that other just regular people in the community can get involved in it?
So you can just come on down, right? Yeah. Or you can go to our Lifescene website, lifescene.org, and it has information on our programs and information on the event. So whether you want to volunteer, which we're accepting volunteers, then if you're interested, you could go to our website and send a message to Seth Goldberg, who was our Director of Advancement External Communication, who was helping orchestrate the event. If you're interested in sponsoring it, there is information on our website about sponsorship opportunities or ads in our program book. Again, that is to Seth Goldberg, but you can get that information from our lifescene.org website. So we're really looking for people to engage in the event, whether they want to volunteer, whether they want to donate, or they just want to come and have fun and listen to some good music, eat some good food, and hang out with some really cool people.
Well, that all sounds like a great, awesome opportunity, and I want to thank you again for coming on to help publicize it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, and we're looking forward to seeing people on August 5th at the Lynn Commons, so come on down.
Oh, yes, definitely. And once again, this has been the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Dani Vittori. We'll see you next week with more guests. On deck, the sports update. The Greater Lynn Babe Ruth's 15s fell just short of their ultimate goal, losing 3-2 to Braintree in the championship game on the 15th. Greater Lynn had more at-bats with double the amount of hits, with 6 compared to 3, and came back from a 2-0 deficit to tie the game. Despite all that, Braintree scored in the 7th and final inning to secure the win. Jake Patterson led Babe Ruth, pitching 6 innings with 6 strikeouts, while also going 2 for 4 with an RBI in the box. The Navs are just 1 game short of 500 at 16-17 and have moved to 3rd in the Coastal Division. This is due in part to a 3-game winning streak against the Newburyport Gulls, Mystic Schooners, and the Upper Valley Nighthawks. A dominant 13-1 win snapped a 7-game win streak by the Schooners as the Navs tied their season-high scoring record for a single game. They then split a doubleheader with Upper Valley, winning the first game 5-4 and dropping the second 7-3. The most impressive news is that 6 Navigators are headed to the All-Star Game at Fraser Field this Sunday, the 22nd. Outfielder Evan Griffiths and shortstop Henry Kazmar will start at their respective positions with 4 more Navs in the rotation for the Coastal Division. Sitting at 51-46, the Red Sox have clawed their way out of last place to 4th in the AL East. On Monday, they were the only team to win 7-0 against Oakland, vaulting over the New York Yankees by a game. Justin Turner increased his hitting streak to 13 games and is currently leading the MLB. He scored a run and recorded 2 RBIs with his hit. Connor Wong led the way with 3 hits and 3 RBIs, all in support of a 6-inning, 13-strikeout performance by Nick Pivetta, who came out of the bullpen in the 3rd inning. This was followed by 2 losses, 3-0 and 5-6 to close out the series. Also on the lowdown, members of the Food Project focused on the importance of locally sourced food and making it available for all members of the community. Drawing connections between understanding where food comes from and how it gets from the farm to your home. Have a look. Hello and welcome to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Dani Vittori, and today we have on 2 members from the Food Project. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Now, quick Before we start, do you both mind introducing yourselves and your positions in the organization?
Sure, yeah, thank you. I'm Rachel Frizee. I am the Community Programs Manager here on the North Shore for the Food Project.
My name's Ludia Modi. I'm the North Shore Regional Director for the Food Project.
Great, fantastic. And the first thing I'll ask is, would you mind just giving a quick little history on the Food Project in case anyone doesn't know that much about it?
Yeah, so the Food Project is a 30-year-old organization. We started back in the 90s in Dorchester, Mass, and actually started with 2 families, so the Callahans and the Cheneys, and it was during the Rodney King riots where there was peak racial tension happening in Boston. So they really wanted to come together and think about, how do we bring youth from diverse backgrounds to talk to each other, to really understand, why the tensions are happening, how do we build relationships, and then also how are we thinking about addressing the food insecurity issues that are happening within that community at the time. So it started in a small church, and we started bridging relationships from urban and suburban youth members to learn with each other, to grow and build deeper relationships, and then do meaningful work as well. We came to North Shore about 11 years ago in 2005. So now we are, in Dorchester, in Lincoln, and then Wenham and Lynn as well. And we are working with almost 120 youth every season. Wow. And then also doing a lot of work when we're thinking about the intersections of youth, food, and community.
So look at you now. You've certainly grown since the first 2 families. Yeah. And you were saying, what you sent me was, your 3 focuses are food, youth, and community. That's how you intertwine them all. Mm-hmm. And Rachel, your focus is more the food and community aspect of it. Did you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure, I can talk a little bit about our food distribution and what food looks like here in Lynn. Yeah. So we have a small urban farm by Ingalls Elementary School, which we've had since we've come here. And then we also have a small farm and also space for community gardeners over on Neptune Boulevard, kind of near the YMCA and near Lynn Vocational Tech Institute. Mm-hmm. So we have a couple of spaces here where we're growing in Lynn, and then we're also thinking about where does that food go and who's getting access to that food, also thinking about who's getting access to space to grow their food here. So we have the Central Square Farmers Market on 20 Exchange Street, and we have our food distribution there, but we also have other amazing farms that are coming from across the state. We have Farmer Dave's, we have Paula's Produce, and Riverdale Farm that are there. We have been there for a very long time. Do you remember when we started working there?
Yeah, they were with us when we first started back in 2005, so they've been with us this entire time.
Yeah, it's a really popular market. We're trying to make it more of a community hub. We're having people there that are accepting all forms of payment, from WIC coupons, senior coupons. We all accept SNAP and HIP, in addition to cash and credit cards. And then outside of that, for folks who can't come to that market, we do a mobile market at 6 different sites in the city. Wow. So we'll be doing that across the city. You can check on our website for information about that. Anything else
Yeah, and we donate food as well. So a lot of the produce that we grow at Lynn Ingalls Elementary School is being donated to the community fridge, the New Lynn Coalition food deliveries, and then also it's going to My Brother's Table as well, in addition to other different neighboring organizations.
Yeah, we do some partnership with GLIS here. We also do some partnership with the New Lynn Coalition, just trying to think of working together with other partners and stakeholders in Lynn of getting more access to fresh, affordable food.
That's what you said, the community aspect of it, because you work with so many other organizations, so many other people, and it's all, you see how much of it's really connected to each other. And even looking at your website, you distribute like millions of pounds of food, I think it was.
Yeah,
it's a big number.
Yeah, I mean, it's really thinking about, how do we address the food insecurity issues that are happening right now and do emergency food relief? And then also, how are we thinking about sustainability beyond emergency food relief? So that's where the community gardens come into play, and thinking about like how do we leverage some of the resources we have to create a space, and with the partnerships that we've been privileged to have, to think about how do we, protect spaces so people can grow culturally relevant food, and how do we do that? I think the Food Project's success has been because of our relationships and because of the partnerships we have. Without those, we're not able to be where we are right now. So I think we've been able to do a lot of that work to address this larger food insecurity issue and be able to distribute so many food.
Oh yeah. Definitely, and I know another huge piece of you is youth, getting youth involved, younger people. Yes. You have multiple programs for it. Yeah. Actually, I liked the name, the Seed, Dirt, and Root Cruise. I like that. But what does that actually mean? Like, what are those groups do?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our youth are the future, right? It sounds very cliche to say, but that's really what it is, right? We want to create a space for opportunity for them to learn skills and think about those skills and applications to their passions and be able to put that in their career trajectory. So we have 3 levels of programs with our young people. We have a Seed Crew, which is an introductory level program where our young people join us for 6 weeks during the summer, and we're working on urban and suburban farms, growing food, building relationships. And then beyond that, they can be able to work with us during the academic year to learn about leadership and public speaking and thinking about how they can take all their learning and apply it into their communities that they're a part of. And then that's Dirt Crew. And then the 3rd level of program is when they take all of those leadership, all of that learning, and then put that into practice. They're doing community engagement. They're hosting events. They are, being on panels. They're really thinking like, what does it mean to be an agent of change? How do I take what I'm learning and apply it to make changes within the various communities all of our young people are coming from? And all of our youth programs are paid opportunities. So youth are getting financial security, learning about employment. So it's more of a multifaceted approach, right? It's like meaningful work, financial stability, and then also thinking about how do we bridge relationships across difference.
I mean, you're called the Food Project, but you do not stop at food.
No. Food is
going.
Yeah, food is a vehicle of conversation, right? So it's like, how do you use that conversation to really spark change? And I think diversity is so important and so needed. And as long as we're able to sit around the table and have conversation, have healthy dialogue and conflict, like why not? Why not do that and share a meal at the same time? So I think our whole mission is centered around bridging relationships and elevating a level of trust, and then also using all of the assets that we have to make changes in so many different ways.
Definitely. And I remember you said as well that you started as a farmer and kind of moved up. So you're an example of somebody who's gone through a bit of the program.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed transitioning from for-profit farming into nonprofit farming and kind of being more involved in community and also working with the amazing youth that we have. And I really love that the youth aren't just part of that program, but they're also helping us with the food aspect of working on the farms, and they're also helping us in the community. They're at the farmers market. They're helping us run the farmers market. They help run CSA programs and other things. So they're very, very involved in all the work we're doing.
Like I said, it's such amazing work, and even someone else said to me, you're teaching them so much, but they also have so much to show and teach as well. Like it's really both ways.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I'll ask one thing too, because you mentioned 2 different websites as well, like the foodproject.org is more general, and then you also have Lynn Grows, which is a little more specific to here. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, so Lynn Grows is our community engagement model. So that's kind of the space where we're inviting Lynn residents to come and be a part of Lynn Grows, to share their voice with us, share what they'd like to see happen in the food system. And that could be about small businesses, corner stores, bodegas, about creating more resources for community gardeners, for thinking about what the food looks like in our school system here in Lynn, about food education and nutrition information here. So that's kind of creating a space for anybody who's interested in that kind of work to come join us at Lynn Grows and have a space where your voice is heard and we can kind of collaborate and work together on how we can make a difference in our food system. So that's where you can find that information is on lynngrows.org. We're also pretty active on Facebook and Instagram. So I think we'll have that information shared by you guys. And that's where you can kind of see all the information about the farmers markets, about community events, about other things that are happening at Lynn Grows.
And just to add on to it, I think Lynn Grows is really nice because the Food Project has this unique opportunity to try different avenues of model tests with people, right? So if folks are interested in going into ag business or looking to, think about different ways to utilize food, they're able to model test that with us at no risk for us, right? So really think about how do we protect folks financially to think about and dream about what they want to do, and then pilot that with us, and then figure out what works, what doesn't. present and then take that and continue on. So Lynn Grows really helps us work with residents to really understand what the need is and where folks are passionate about and how can we utilize the resources we have to support that work.
Which is a great way to do it, because in no place, no person is it ever going to be the same.
Exactly.
It's not really a one-size-fits-all. And you give them an amazing opportunity to try that.
Exactly.
So I realize I probably should have asked this when we first started, but how long have you both been involved with the Food Project?
Yeah, I've been involved for almost 10 years. I started as a youth in the program, actually, so I'm a recipient of like positive, youth and adult partnerships, and really enjoyed my time with the organization, and ended up, participating in various seasonal and staff roles, and to where I am right now. So really been fully connected with the work because I've seen the impacts of it. My family and I migrated to Lynn about 23 years ago. So coming to Lynn and not really kind of knowing what this new place is, a Food Project gave me a sense of belonging and really thinking about like, how do I make an impact in the community that is now my home, right? So it's been really a beautiful experience being involved so far.
Great.
And I've started with the Food Project again as a farmer, so that was about 4 or 5 years ago. And then transitioned into my role as a community programs manager at the start of last year. And I've really enjoyed just like connecting with more people in the city that I live in and finding more ways to collaborate and build partnerships. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and the entire organization has done such an amazing job with it. And I could talk about this all day with you because there's just so much information, but I know we have to wrap up in a minute. So is there anything that you wanted to mention that I just hadn't hit upon?
Yeah, we really just want to share that, we're here for the community. We're really cognizant about creating more growing spaces. We're really thinking about, using Lynn Grows as a way for people to come together. We do have a new kind of event that we're starting as a summer series for residents to come join us on community gardens here in Lynn and join us in beautifying that garden, get your hands in the soil, enjoy the summer and the beauty of farming. So that's going to start on July 29th, I believe. Again, you can check that on our website.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and I think definitely want to invite anyone to come to our farms and be able to use that space. Typically, we're on our farms with different community spaces, so email is a great way to reach out to us. On our website, and list all of the staff emails and different roles that people have. So really, want to encourage folks to reach out if they're interested in volunteering or, just engaging with us in whatever way feels good for folks.
Great, that sounds fantastic. And I want to thank you both again for coming on to speak about it. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Great. Anytime. And once again, I'm Dani Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests. Next up, the community calendar. Beginning next Monday, the 24th, pickleball clinics will be held at Clark Street Park. They will take place every Monday from July 4th to August 21st from 4 to 7:30 p.m. and will be separated into 3 different groups. Kids from 4 to 5, beginners from 5 to 6:15, ending with skills and drills from 6:15 to 7:30. They will learn a variety of skills from serving, rules, and working with a partner on the court, to name a few. To sign up, contact Lisa Nerick at the Lynn DPW. Next Thursday, the 27th, Raw Artworks is revealing their They Look Like Me exhibit, Reflections of Our City, A Look Within. Started back in 2016 by a youth and now alumni of Raw, it was created to show kids of color people in their community who look like them and are accomplishing impressive things. Artists, elected officials, and community leaders have been invited to participate in a conversation to empower youth to dream big. Saturday the 29th, the College Application Education Program is hosting a career day at 30 Kingswood Circle. There will be educational workshops, career opportunities, and entertainment for those who attend. It is recommended that you RSVP in advance for both your attendance and food. That is all the news for this week. For more on all the events happening around Lynn, visit lyntv.org. Also, follow us on social media at Lynn Community Television for updates, announcements, and press releases. For member and staff content, as well as additional videos, go to Lynn Community Television on YouTube. I'm Dani Vittori. This is LCTV News, and we will see you next week.